Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. Because, guys, almost 33 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, 33 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now I'm a smartass. And yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. Guys, I'm saying all that to say this. You know, we've all had the roughest few years of our lives all over the world, not just here. And a lot of people didn't make it, and unfortunately, a lot of people are still struggling. I am a nutritional health coach. I'm also a recovery coach. I'm here to help you. So I don't want anyone out there to feel like they're alone. Please, please reach out. If you think my book can help someone, because I sure do, you can go to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Barnes & Noble. You can go to Amazon, and you can also go to my website, www.geripetito.com. And guys, if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please, please reach out to me about that as well. Guys, I'm going to mention one of my sponsors before I introduce my incredible guest. John Bishop, a.k.a. Johnny B., singer-songwriter, host of the Entertainment Luncheon South, a nonprofit network created for the creative. Facebook group page, Entertainment Luncheon South. He's the partner in the Joey D and Johnny B Rockin' Oldies band. And guys, he's really amazing. He keeps all of us going, okay? He shares everything. He promotes us all. And he doesn't make a penny on that luncheon he does once a month. And he brings in anyone and everyone who wants to get noticed, okay? So check him out, please. So now, guys, you know I always bring it, right? Well, I am really bringing it now, okay? I have an incredible guest, and I would like to introduce him. His name is Dan Magnus, but he also goes by Dan the Bionic Man Magnus. Dan, say hello to everyone.
How's everybody doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited. You know, my whole family was into wrestling and boxing and all that, and, I wasn't really into it. A lot of women back then wasn't into it, but I'm into the cool ones, the really cool ones, and you are one of the cool ones, okay? I just had to say that. So,
I'm a legend in my own mind.
no, listen, honey, you're a legend in a lot of people's minds, okay? My cousin knew about you, okay? Please. So originally, I was telling your girlfriend, I'm originally from Long Island City, New York, and I moved to New Jersey like 50 years ago. So I want to ask you, why don't you do me a favor? You take the mic first, and then I have some questions for you. Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. My dad was an ex-police officer, and my mom and him were also roller skating champions.
Oh.
So I was learned how to roller skate, and this is just like ice skating, figure skating, but with roller skates on. And I was skating since I was 4 years old. I was at 17, I was the national United States figure skating champion. I held that for about 3 years. And then I decided to go into the martial arts. And I liked the martial arts a lot more than I liked roller skating. And that basically, because my whole family were roller skaters, I was the oldest. And when I do something, I have to go for it all the way, and all I wanted to do was be champion. And I won 2 years in a row. And then I said, all right, I just want to do martial arts. I don't want to do skating anymore. Then my mom came up to me and said, oh, I wish you would have skated one more year. And I'm like, why? I won two. Why do I need to win another one for? She goes, well, your dad will get a special award. So 3 weeks before the nationals, I signed up to skate, and I haven't skated for like 9 months. My
Okay.
dad thought I was nuts. I said, I'll just do the old routine. And I did it. I won.
Get
My
out.
dad got the trophy, and I threw my skates in the garbage and never put another pair on.
Okay, hold that thought. Okay, I just have to dive into this a little bit. So, all right, first of all, I can't even picture a wrestler skating. Okay, that's first of all. But that's so cool. Not only are you a champion skater, you didn't skate for 9 months. You did that for your mom and you ended up winning?
Yeah.
So then why would you throw your skates in the garbage? I get that maybe, all
I
right,
couldn't stand skating.
you really, how could you be that good at it and can't stand it?
Well, what it was I was good at it and I liked it, but then I got into the martial arts and I liked that better. There was also a thing, like you said, because of being a wrestler and a kickboxer. Unfortunately, when you're a skater and you're a figure skater, people have a little different idea about you.
I love that. Okay, I know where we're going. All right. So listen.
Yeah, so basically, I went into martial arts to prove everybody, look, I will kick your butt if you don't call me every ball.
That is so funny the way you just described that. Yes. Okay. So,
Yes,
all
I
right.
wore those weird outfits.
all right. So you wore the weird outfits. Everybody thought you were gay. You said, "Hey, I'm going to kick your butts. I'm going to prove I'm not. And now I'm going to do this." And they were like, "Holy crap." Okay.
Right.
So, all right. So I have a few questions for you. So now you're talking about it, but how and when did you really get into martial arts kickboxing? About how and when?
I got into martial arts when I was 14.
Okay.
Just to really improve my skating because, it was the stretching
Ah.
and kicking and everything. And then I really just fell for it. And I was in the street. I lived in Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, Italian neighborhood. Everybody's a tough guy, and because I was a skater, I was like, anybody said anything to me, the first thing I did, I never argued with anybody. I just punched him in the face. And I had a reputation in Brooklyn that don't say anything bad to Dan, he'll hit you in the face. And then one guy one time said something to me and I went to hit him in the face and he knew karate and he beat the crap out of me.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Go ahead.
So then I said, I'm going to learn this karate stuff. And that's how I got into it. And then I got my black belt and kickboxing just started and I had my black belt in 1972. In kickboxing, the style I do is Professional Karate Association, was all kicks above the waist, no leg kicks. That's from Thailand, and I didn't want to get kicked in the leg. So I went to D.C., where the world champion Jeff Smith, he was the light heavyweight champion of the world, trained. And I went there and I said, I want to be a kickboxer. And back then it was new, so he had a lot of people come to him and say, oh, I want to be a kickboxer. And he'd go, okay. And it was just his way of finding new sparring partners he could beat up. So I went there. I was there for 7 days, and I got the living crap kicked out of me for 7 straight days. I never took so much, I would have been hit by a car and felt better.
Okay.
Then when the 7th day, he looked at me, Jeff said, you are one tough guy. Neither that or you're crazy. Why don't you, I'll give you a job here. So I said, well, I'm a cop in New York, and this was like 1976. And he went, well, have you ever changed your mind? So I went back to New York, and then the city went bankrupt and I lost my job. So then I went to DC and started training with him. He gave me a job as a karate instructor and I started fighting. It took me about 3 years to get the championship.
I want to share a silly fighting story with you about me. Okay? So I'm only 5'3" now. So
They're
I
the
grew
most
up.
dangerous.
I grew up in Long Island City, New York. Like I said, my brother was obese from birth. And he's gone up and down. He's doing great again. And he's still with us, thank God. And we're only a year and a half apart. But he was picked on constantly. He was bullied constantly. And he was bigger than all the other kids. And my father, the Italian man, would yell at him, "You're bigger than everybody. Knock them out," you know? So he would come home crying. Anyway, long story short, I was this tiny little thing. And when we went to a Catholic school, and I fought everybody, but I got my butt kicked because I was tiny, but I didn't care. And one day, my brother comes home crying. The brother and sister, the two biggest bullies of the neighborhood, okay, bullied him so bad. And I said, all right, tomorrow I'm going to die, Lord, but it's okay. I was in fourth grade, fifth grade, whatever I was. I said, I'm going to get one shot in, Lord, but I'm going to die. I don't care. My mom's walking us to St. Mary's, 2 blocks away, and I run off. I'm in my uniform pretending I'm going to run quick, follow me. And I go where she lives, and I stand on top of the awning. I'm holding on to her awning, and she comes out, and I give her one good shot. Well, she gets on top of me, beats the crap out of me. I'm bleeding, rips my uniform. My mother comes around the corner screaming. She runs off, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I didn't care. I'm crying, and I say to my brother, I don't care, but I got one shot in. I got one shot in. And I got a juvenile delinquent card at 10 years old in New York because I would beat up the bullies even though they would kill me. All right? And I was so proud of that. We had to go to court and everything, okay? So I just had to share that a little bit with you.
I have a similar thing. Before I went into the martial arts, because I was a skater and everything, I found the best way to defend myself was to run away. You know, you're going to hit me or bother me, I'll run. And I
Okay?
thought that was cool. You know, I didn't get hurt. So one day I ran home. My dad was home. And he goes, what are you doing? I go, well, this kid's been picking on me for 2 weeks. I'm not, you know, I run away and he can't catch me. My dad went to me and said, you know, you can't run for the rest of your life. I go, why not? It's sounding good to me. He made me go downstairs and face this kid. I was so scared. I couldn't talk. And the kid said, oh, you're not going to run away anymore? I didn't say anything. He goes, okay. Now, back in the 70s, bullies used to go, you start, so he wouldn't get in trouble with starting it.
Really?
So I did. I punched him in the face. Now, this punch couldn't have broke a flower. But this kid started crying and going in, and I just stared at my fist and was like, wow. Then I started punching everybody. You looked at me wrong, I punched you. Until one day I threw a punch at a kid who started with me and he knew karate and he beat the crap out of me. And then he became my best friend and told me to take karate. So I took karate to be a better fighter.
So I want to share part 2 of what I was sharing with you. You know, now I'm, you know, I don't mind saying I'm 63 now. So a few years ago I saw the woman's name on Facebook and I reached out to her. And I said, do you remember me? And they knew me as Geraldine. And she goes, you're Geraldine. And I said, could we talk? Here's my number. She called me. She said, first, I want to apologize to your brother. Please tell him I'm sorry. We were very bad. Her brother's dead now. He was in jail. He had AIDS. He was a mess. But they were so abused by their own father. He would put their hands over the fire when they were bad. So that's what made them become bullies. Hurt people, hurt people. But I'm saying that because you said, you know, now that guy's your best friend and he told you to take karate, so it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you know, people that bully are usually scared themselves.
Yes.
You know, and it's just something usually in their own background and their own family life, and they got to take their aggression out.
Yes.
That's why boxing, kickboxing, more than even karate, kickboxing and boxing is so prevalent in the lower areas, you know, like the ghettos and that. It's their way of getting their frustration out.
So I have
Sugar Ray Leonard lived in Palmer Park. It was one of the worst areas of Maryland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I trained with Ray. Ray was like me. He used to get beat up all the time, and his brother was taking boxing, Roger. And then Ray just loved it and got into it. And they kept him off the streets.
That is so cool. Sugar Ray Leonard, man. Everyone knows him.
Yeah.
So, all right, I have a question for you. He might be the answer. I'm not sure. What was the highlight of your kickboxing career?
Winning the world title.
Okay.
I won the world title in '82. I wasn't expected to win, because I was number 8 in the world, and I got a chance. The world champion didn't want to fight the number 1 contender, so he picked me because I was 8, and I beat him. And then right after I won the title, about 3 months later, because I was also a bounty hunter,
Okay.
and I was after somebody, and I was arresting him, and I didn't see my partner and me didn't see his friend in another car, and the guy, his friend, tried to run us both over, him and me. And I pushed the guy away. The car hit me in the leg and threw me into a 4-foot retaining wall, broke all my ribs on my left side, and ripped my heart.
Okay.
So I had to have, when they found out after my ribs healed, they found out I had a murmur, a heart murmur, which I never had before. And they said, we have to check you out and see what it is. And what was funny is the doctor who found my heart murmur was the fight doctor. I was supposed to defend my title, and during the pre-medical test that they always do before you fight, he said, Dan, you got a heart murmur. I'm like, okay, what's that mean? He goes, you didn't have this last time you fought. I can't let you fight. I don't know what's wrong with your heart. It's a loud noise. So I went through all these tests, and because I was worked for the government, I went to NIH, National Institute of Health. And they did all the tests, and then they found you have a rip in your heart. And I went, okay. I said, but can I fight again? And they were like, you have a rip in your heart. I go, I know. Can I fight again? And they were like, because NIH is an experimental hospital, they said, well, why don't we try to fix it? They were going to replace it and put a metal valve in.
Okay.
And they said, why don't we just stitch it and see what happens?
Okay.
So they put 3 stitches on my heart valve, and a year to the day of my heart surgery, I won the title back.
So that worked.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So in 1984, I won the title back. I fought till 88, and then I got married and had a kid, and it was great. But then I had that itch again, so I came out of retirement, fought, and won again. And then in 94, UFC took over, and I was too old to fight. I said, I fight with gloves and foot gear and shin guards, and all the kicks are above the waist. I don't want to be kicked in the legs barefoot. I don't want to get thrown on the ground. I'm too old for this. So it's funny. I trained Chuck Liddell. Me
Okay.
and Jeff Smith gave him his black belt. Chuck's crazy. Great fighter, takes too much punishment. But that was my whole thing. And then I moved to Hawaii, and I opened a karate school in Hawaii because I couldn't do anything else. And I bumped into a professional wrestler named Brian Adams, who
Okay.
was he was called Crush in the WWF back
Okay.
then. And he opened a gym right next to my karate school, a Gold's Gym or a World Gym, I can't remember which one. And we became friends, and he wanted to open up a wrestling school. And then, so he opened up the wrestling school and was teaching wrestling, and he wasn't very good at teaching. Then WWE put him on this 3-month tour in the Orient. And he goes, what am I going to do with my wrestling school? I said, well, I'll run it for you and keep it going till you get back. And I used to watch him train. He was trained in Japan, and he was killing all his students. I mean, he was just destroying them, because that's how he was taught. So when he left, I said, okay, we're changing things. And I made it easier to learn how to pro wrestle.
Okay.
How to do the bumps. I taught him how to be safe with each other. When he came back, we had a show, and his students did unbelievable. And he went, how'd you get him to do this so fast? And when I showed him, he said, oh, man, you're being too easy on him. You got to be harder. I go, first off, you had 10 students when you left, and you came back, and I have 30 here. Okay, so I must be doing so. Do you want to just make wrestling great, or do you want to just make money? And then he got a sign up with the WWE full time, and I took over his wrestling school. So now I became a teacher for pro wrestling. And I did so well that WWE hired me, but he made me go to Kentucky, where they had their training facility. And believe me, Hawaii is much better than Kentucky.
Okay.
And I taught there, and after a while, it was just, okay, I'm done with this wrestling stuff, and went back to the martial arts.
Okay, so hold that thought. So you mentioned some big names, and Sugar Ray Leonard was one of them, right? Okay. Any other big names that you haven't
Marvin
mentioned?
Hagler,
Okay.
marvelous Marvin Hagler. I trained Jason David Frank, the Power Ranger,
Okay.
the white Power Ranger, who's not with us anymore.
Okay.
And that he had an accident. And that I did a 48 exhibition round thing for Chuck Norris's Kick Drugs Out of America.
I love that.
And the last round was with Chuck. And he wasn't supposed to come to it. This was just a charity event.
Okay.
And the last two rounds, the 47th and 48th round, they said, we have a special guy for Dan. And I just fought 47 2-minute rounds. I'm exhausted. And Chuck told everybody else who was, working with me for it, but he didn't tell me he was coming. And all of a sudden, this music plays, and out comes Chuck. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
That's cool.
And he gets in the ring, and he's, everybody's going freaking crazy. And I'm feeling like I'm going to fall on the corner. He walks up to me, and we do a face-off thing. And he looks at me, he goes, Dan, don't hurt me.
I love this.
And I went, don't hit me. You hit me, I'm tired, I'll hurt you. And we did the thing, and we raised, I think, close to $40,000 for his Kick Drugs Out of America. That was his charity.
That's
And,
amazing.
I had two wrestlers come to the event, and I sparred them, and they were scared to death because they weren't kickboxers, but they went crazy when wrestlers came in. So I learned a lot that fighting is great, but you got to be a showman. It's what made Leonard so great. It's what made Marvin Hagler would have been great, and he did because he fought Leonard, but Marvin didn't talk much. And you got to be able to give an interview. And I had it easy because I learned from wrestlers how to give an interview. So when I even had karate, I'd be like, listen, buddy, I'm defending my title against you tonight. When you and me get together, I'm going to cause you nothing but stormy weather. And ESPN loved me. He goes, he's not just a kickboxer, he's an entertainer. Oh, my
Right.
God, people love him.
Right.
So, I mixed it both, but karate people and boxing people won't do that because it's making the sport look bad.
No.
You're making the sport, Dan, look like wrestling. Well, wrestling's the number one thing on television.
No.
So what are you doing? And how I got into, with Roxy is, I'm not even sure. I can't even remember. I think it was something where she saw me on Match.
Oh, yes.
We were on? No, she's saying no.
Okay.
Well, what?
Tell her to come by. Tell
Oh,
her to
it's
come over.
Facebook.
Tell her to
She said
come over. Come on over, girl.
It was hey, look, after my heart transplant, I'm lucky I can remember.
Don't
my
worry
name.
about that, baby. I forget things too. I have a sheet right here with things written down.
Oh,
I could have
okay.
the sheet in front of me and it wouldn't help.
No, Dan, that was your other dates you met on Match.
I thought
Hi,
I saw you
Roxy.
on Match.
Hi. No, we met on Facebook. He was having a self-defense course, remember?
It was
And-
on the internet.
So I was kind of going after him on Facebook before they had the Facebook dating. So I was going after him, and I went to a seminar, and not a lot of people showed up. And then the guy at the boxing place said, yeah, he just took off with a blonde. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. So I called him up. I said, I'm at a bar. Meet me in 20 minutes. And if you don't, we're not going out. He was there in 19 minutes.
So wait, don't go anywhere. Real quick, tell everyone who you are real quick. We just did an incredible interview, guys, so it's there as well. Tell
Who are
everyone who you are.
Who am
I have no idea who she just came
Ah.
into this thing.
Hi, I'm Roxy Astor from Glow, and I'm his best half.
And she is, hold on, Park Avenue Knockouts from New York. Gorgeous ladies of wrestling, guys. Amazing,
Right.
amazing, amazing.
I'm in wrestling and I'm in martial arts, and what do? I date a wrestler.
Okay, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So wait, I have a question for you, Dan. All right, so we talked a little bit about how you went from martial arts to wrestling and all that, but the name, Dan the Bionic Man Magnus, tell us.
That was because of my heart surgery. When I fought again in '84, I didn't have a heart transplant yet. I had my aortic valve, the largest valve in your heart, they took and put a mechanical valve in,
Okay.
made of metal. And I was first known as Dan Magnum Magnus because they said I hit so hard.
Okay.
So they called me Magnum because Magnum,
Okay.
And then when I fought in Atlantic City and they introduced the guy that was the announcer was a friend of mine. He announced the other guy's name, and then he went, and in this corner, weighing whatever, it's Dan, the Bionic Man.
Yep.
I didn't even know he was going to say it.
Because they
Yeah.
sewed your heart up. Yes.
Yeah, he called me Dangerous Dan,
I
the
love it.
Bionic Man.
I love it.
So the Bionic Man, I didn't like it at first because I liked being called Magnum.
No, I like this.
Called me that. But he changed it and it went national. So
Yes.
I was the Bionic Man.
So I owned beauty salons back in the 80s and 90s, and I love men with long hair. I love men with long hair. I love.
That was another thing in wrestling.
Go ahead.
Wrestling,
Go ahead.
we all have long hair.
Okay, well, I love men with long hair, and I was going to say to you, all right, let me back up one step, and then I'm going to ask you about the long hair. So when my father or brother would watch boxing or wrestling, they would say, come and watch it. I'm like, no. But whenever Tito Santana fought, because he was so cute, I was in, baby. They knew, come on, Tito's fighting, Tito, and I would go. But the long hair, so didn't it get in the way?
No. Well, it got in the way in kickboxing sometimes.
Okay,
But I've always had long hair.
okay.
You know, I just liked it. My dad hated it, but I didn't care. In wrestling, we have to have long hair
Okay.
because we don't really hit each other. We fake it. Like I'll put my hand up and I'll punch my hand and make it look like it, and the guy's got to snap his head back.
Oh my gosh.
So if you throw it and I have to snap my head back, if I don't have any hair, it doesn't look as dynamic. But my hair is long and I snap it, the hair goes all over the place.
Hold that
My
thought.
hand used to be down to here.
Okay, wait, hold that thought. I have questions. Hold that thought. All right.
Okay.
So is it a law, a rule that you guys have to have long hair?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
but
this bald Stone Cold Steve Austin is bald.
okay. All right.
It's
So
just long hair just makes it, you don't have.
yes.
Now, when Steve gets hit, he's got to really sell it. I
Okay.
mean, he's got to jerk his head, give himself whiplash. When you have long hair, it kind of makes it, you're
Yeah,
cheating.
this is so cool. I'm telling all my male cousins. The Petito cousins are going to hear this story. All right, so
It's cheating.
wait, I have a question about that then. Okay, you could be honest. Come on, we're all getting older and they're not listening. We don't care. All right. So was it all
Everybody knows the wrestling secrets now.
all right, so
wait,
it
it's the
really
hair
was
secret.
all fake?
Oh.
It really was
What?
all fake?
Well, I'll define fake. for you.
All right, define fake. Come on.
It's not fake.
Okay.
It's fixed.
Gotcha.
I wrestle you. We know who's going to win. You and me will talk before the match and say, I'll go over this, we'll go over that, we'll go over this, we'll go over that. It's improvised
Yeah.
because we don't practice the match because we wouldn't be able to remember it. If I have to go 15 minutes with you, I'm not going to remember a 15-minute match.
This is so cool.
We also talk like this. You can't see my voice, can you? Can you see my lips move? So if I let's say I'm fighting her and I put my head to her ear and I go, okay, I'm throwing it into the ropes.
I'm
into the
selling it.
and I throw it, and then, I'll grab her like this, and she'll act like I'm choking. Now watch, right? My hand's on her shoulders. Start shaking your head like I'm choking it. Go. When I'm doing something to her, she's selling it for me. If she does something to me, like she kicks me in the stomach, she's not really kicking me in the stomach. She's touching me there. I gotta act like I got hit real hard.
All right, so then All right, I have
Hey,
another
I'm blowing
question.
mine.
Okay, this is so
And
cool.
we're not blowing any secrets because everybody knows.
Right,
this.
but here's the thing. Everybody thinks they know everything, but hearing it from you, that's priceless, okay? So now, all right, now I have another question. So the boxing, is a lot of that fake or is that more
No,
real?
it's totally real.
Totally real, because, okay, so hold that thought, and I mentioned this to you before we went on air, but I'm going to say it again. So I had the honor of interviewing Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne Bleeder, and he fought Muhammad Ali, and the Rocky movies were really about him. And
Right.
he's the only one that went pretty much the full round, the full fight with Muhammad
15
Ali,
rounds.
and he knocked him down. And he told me, and it's out there on his documentary, he said that Ali whispered in his ear after the fight, "You're one guy I don't want to find in a black alleyway," because he was afraid of him now. And he said, till the day he died, he said that Chuck didn't knock him down, he tripped over his own foot. So I watched for the first time the full fight. I don't do that. I had to see it. And I was like, no, God rest your soul. But guess what? He knocked you down.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was so
Yeah, I
cool.
mean, boxers, kickboxers, we're tough. We're the tough guys. And when I got wrestling, pro wrestling was harder.
I'm sure it had to be harder because you had to fake it or it was fixed or whatever you were doing.
My job is to protect you. Your job is to protect me, and both our jobs is to look like we're killing each other.
Yes, I love this.
Yeah.
In kickboxing, I don't give a crap about you.
You're
I'm going to
gonna-
knock you out.
That's so cool.
But Dan, we have a thing against the fight that's coming out with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, this Mike Tyson.
I say it's fixed. He says it's real. We go back and forth all the time going, come on, this is just a buildup. We fight about this all the time.
Here's the thing. It's going to be a real boxing match.
Is it?
Yeah. Jake Paul is horrible. And the odds, if there was really the thing, Tyson will knock him out in 30 seconds.
Okay.
If it goes long, it's supposed to be 10 rounds. If it goes past 5, something's up.
Okay.
Because Paul's had 6 fights and Tyson's had 40. Tyson's fought the best in the world. And I don't want to hear this thing that because he's 56 and Jake Paul is 24.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
That's like saying, I'm going to put a guy in baseball who's just came out of spring training, has never done anything before. And he's going to be better than Babe Ruth when Babe Ruth was near the end of his career. Babe Ruth could still outdo him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Age has nothing to do with it. I'm 67 years old. I'm thinking of fighting again.
No, please don't.
Why?
Now rest.
Wait, why? Why would you think? You know why? Because you think I'm too old.
First of
There's no
all,
such-
hold
it's
on.
only old if you stop.
Hold on. I don't think you're too old. You're in your 60s. I'm in my 60s. I don't think I'm too old, right? That's
No, I'm
not
talking
why.
about fighting.
No, wait, I'm going to tell you why. You asked. Because you had such an incredible, amazing, unbelievable career. You went out on top. Stay on top, baby. And guess what? Now rest. Stay on top. What you have
Well, those
done,
are
I don't know
fighting
too
words.
many fighters have done. You know what I mean? I don't know too many people have done what you've done. You went out on top on not just fighting and not just this and not just, that's incredible. So I would
Right.
stay on top, baby.
But fighting to me is like breathing to you.
Let her kick your butt. Fight with her a little bit. She'll kick your butt in
I
the
will.
ring.
I'm after this, I'm going to spar with him.
There
This
you
is
go.
it. I'm gonna,
There you go.
She is the worst person to work out with. I train people for a living.
Okay.
When I train her, I would like to take a gun and shoot her.
I love this.
it's not nice.
She bites me on everything. Okay, 2 more reps. I don't want to.
I don't feel like it. I'm not in the mood.
Oh my gosh.
And everybody who I train after I train her wants to kill her
I love
because
this.
I'm in a bad mood.
I love
So
this.
guess what? We don't train together.
That's
We
so
don't
funny.
train.
We don't
Listen.
train.
You want to
together.
spar later? You want to spar?
Yeah, do it right now.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Dan, this
you know,
is incredible.
She has kept me sane.
I'm sure.
because I am a bit insane. The stuff I've done in my life.
sure.
Went after bad people,
Yeah.
protection. I protected the worst guy I've ever protected. Who was it? Prince?
No, you said Tommy Lee.
Yeah, Tommy Lee was one.
Eric, who's and Eric Roberts.
Yeah. I bodyguarded Eric Roberts. I bodyguarded Tommy Lee. I would have killed him myself.
Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, well, she
Oh,
was okay. She
She
was
was
just.
good.
But that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Kimberly listened to me, huh?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's not,
Gwen Stefani.
yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. Come on.
Nice people.
I love
good
doing,
people.
I like bodyguarding the women because they listen to you.
Yeah.
The guys don't because
Yeah,
they
I'm
want to
sure.
be tough guys.
I'm
Tommy
sure.
Lee couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag because he's too skinny. But he would start more fights in nightclubs. 'cause
Hold
he's
on.
an ass.
But he would start fights while you were there, correct?
Yeah.
So that's
He never
why.
started a fight when he was
Right. So that's why. Come on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like the money was great. And then after a while I said, you know what? I'm only gonna do women now because they listen. Plus it's easier bodyguarding a woman than a guy.
Mhm.
Because if it gets bad, let's say you're at a nightclub and I'm bodyguarding you. Okay? If it gets bad, I can just grab your hand and get you out of there. I can't do that with a guy.
Right. You could even lift her. Let's go. You're out of here.
No,
Right.
my word was law. I let them do what they want. If I saw something bad, I said, we gotta go. You
Okay.
argue with me, I will knock you out and take you there.
Okay. Love it.
So, but now, well, because of COVID and everything, but I got out of it when I met her.
And a heart transplant. I think that.
Right. Come on. Dan.
I've had 4 heart surgeries altogether.
All right. So we don't want a fifth. You got this beautiful lady by your side. You went out on frickin'
I'm
top.
scared of her.
Listen, I would be afraid of her too. I wouldn't want to get it in a ring with her. I gotta tell you.
No, not the ring, just living with her.
No. Okay. Wait. So he had a heart transplant close to three years ago, a heart transplant. And now what you're hearing, he calls me Nurse Ratchet.
I love
Nurse
this.
Ratchet, a Nurse Ratchet, and I'm shaking the pills all the time. These are your anti-rejection pills. You got to take them.
I'll be sleeping and she'll walk up and shake it in my ear. Can you let me get up first?
I'm like, well, Dan, it's 12 o'clock. Take them. You're not on schedule.
Oh
So.
my God.
And it's very important. I mean, to have a heart transplant is a big deal, and it's important that you do that. And so I basically caretake and have been doing it, but he's been doing great.
So
Everything's been coming back really good
Good.
because he takes his medicine.
See, all right. So now I have a question for you, Dan, and you might want to help him with this question because
Okay.
listen, I don't know if I would really remember the answers to this, but through your entire career, did you ever walk out of a ring saying, "Oh my gosh, that was the hardest hit I ever gave, and that was the hardest hit I ever took"? Do you remember?
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember who with who?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that might be hard.
Now he'll remember.
The hardest hit I ever did was when I was going for the world title the second time in '86 at the Battle of Atlanta.
Oh,
The guy who was the champion, David Humphrey,
okay.
he in the 5th round hit me with a hook that I didn't just fall down, I flew down.
Okay.
He hit me so hard that I flew off my feet and landed. And everybody said, well, that's it, the fight's over, and I got up. And we went the whole 15 rounds. But I have really never been, well, I've been hit harder than that by the light heavyweight champion, Jeff Smith, who trained me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That guy in training. That's why, he used to beat me so bad that I'd be like, what's the guy in the ring who's my weight and age and, thing gonna do? Shoot me? I wasn't worried about them.
Oh my gosh.
No, my training, I worked so hard, that to beat me, I had a philosophy. She doesn't like this philosophy. To beat me, you're going to have to kill me. And to kill me, you better be willing to die yourself.
Ay, ay, ay. See? See what I
Okay.
deal with?
I see what you do it. All right. So,
Shake those pills.
all right. So now I'm going to say something and then ask you a question. Okay, whatever. So until I started doing interviews and interviewing all these characters, let's just say characters, okay?
Oh, that's what we are.
Okay? I used to say, I cannot believe anyone would want to be a fighter. How could these stupid people want to get in a ring and get beat up and beat up people? How could they? This is terrible. This is crazy. This is stupid. I can't believe anyone would want to do this. So then I started meeting even female fighters, okay? And we would talk, and their stories were incredible. Now I get it. But what I want to ask you is this. The majority of people that become fighters, boxers, wrestlers, okay, was there a lot of abuse in their lives growing up, do you think?
No,
Okay. So it was just
No.
a power play, just to have power.
not really. It was the competition.
Competition with power, though, because this is power.
Well, so is football. I'd rather
Yes.
fight than be hit by. I'd rather fight where I'm facing a guy face to face. He's throwing punches, he's throwing kicks at me, but I'm doing it back to him. I'd rather do that than go and be a quarterback and I'm about to throw the ball and two 280-pound guys hit me from behind.
Oh,
They tackle me. I want to see it coming.
you're making sense.
You know, they go,
Yes.
hey, football. They're killing each other. I was watching one time when the guy was about to throw the pass and two guys just slammed this guy. They almost turned him into a Z.
As wrestlers, we don't get that. We don't understand that.
See? All right. So this is really cool that you're explaining this to me this way.
Yeah.
Now in wrestling, it's very physical,
Mhm.
but we practice.
Right.
We
And
know
it's
what we're doing.
and it's fixed. Okay.
Yeah, he picks me up. I know he picks me up to throw me into a body slam. He's putting me where I need to be. He's making sure if I'm wrestling her and I pick her up, I got to make sure that I put her in the right position so she doesn't get hurt.
This is
Oh, it's so
so
nice.
cool.
That's so nice of him.
My
Isn't that
job-
nice of him?
Yeah, in pro wrestling, my job is if I'm wrestling you, my job is to protect you. Your job is to protect me, and our full job is to make it look like we're killing each other.
Ruben, come around here and just wave. There's a reason why. Come on.
Yes.
I want you to say hi, but I want him to see you. All right. My producer, all right, he's incredible. He's a young guy who knows technology incredible. He does my shows amazing. And he's also an idiot. He's falling on the floor, banging the floor, pretending
That's not his
somebody
name, is it?
somebody just beat him up as you're describing the fights. I'm cracking up laughing. I'm trying to not focus on him on the floor.
Hey, can we do a scenario? Can we do a scenario that we're on the mat? Be like, hey Dan, come see me. I'm coming after you. Your
Boy,
turn.
that's really old school talk. I'll tell him what I said. You and me want to get together? I'm going to cause you nothing but stormy weather.
Oh, when I see you,
Why
you're
are you
gonna be
talking
from
like Hulk
Magnus.
Hogan?
You just made his day, Dan. You
Awesome.
just made his day.
No, I thought it was Macho Man. Or- Who was the
Hulk-
Macho Man?
Yeah, Randy Savage talked,
Uh-huh.
because he had a throat injury.
Oh,
And you just made
Hulk
fun of
Hogan.
him.
I didn't know.
When I first met Hulk Hogan, hey brother, how's it going? When I first met him, he was like, hi Dan, how are you? I was like, what? He talked normal. I
That's
was like,
priceless.
what the hell happened? And he's
yeah.
like, I don't talk like that all the time.
Oh.
I just do it on the show.
so
He goes, if I talk like that all the time, I wouldn't have a voice.
That is priceless.
Yeah.
I love.
love you
Calmest
guys.
guy in the world. He shakes your hand. He's like, are we going to go get something to eat after this?
And then he sees a
And I'm
fan.
going like this.
and goes,
What?
goes into character. right,
Yeah.
when he
Or
sees a
someone
fan.
goes, hey, Hulk, what, brother? What do you want?
Okay.
And I'm like, really?
You're so
My
awesome.
character
Dan.
was
He's
different.
awesome, right, man?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Black leather jacket,
Uh-huh.
leather pants, and I was Dan Magnum, but I looked like I was a vampire. WWE was weird,
Yeah.
and
What?
Look for-
yeah, I was. We had the long leather jackets. It was me with Edge and Christian, and then we were about to make our debut. We were going to be called. Well, they called them the Brood. We were going to be called the Family. And guess what happened?
What
What
happened?
Columbine.
Oh.
We were wearing leather jackets, long leather jackets in the practice. They're called house shows. They're not televised. And before we were going to make our debut on Monday Night Raw, on Friday, Columbine hit. And what were they wearing? Long leather jackets.
Jackets.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It was really, it was
Wow.
a mess. And we knew, okay,
Yeah.
we cannot come out on Monday
No.
Night Raw with these jackets on.
No.
And Vince went, I don't know what we're gonna do. We can't even put the family of three guys that take vengeance on people.
Yeah.
So they cut it out. And then about 3 months later, they said, why don't we bring you out in three-piece suits? And I was like, we're gonna look like vampires in three-piece suits?
I'm Dick.
So it didn't really work. So, you know, it just shows, you know, with pro wrestling, they go by the times. You know, you've heard of the wrestler Sting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's thing. Yeah.
He wore a long leather jacket. He had to take
That's
his
right.
off.
Oh, really?
Oh, now I know who he is
Yeah.
by you describing him. Yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
He wore a
Sting.
long.
Yeah.
He was the crow. He had white paint face.
Face,
And
Yep.
he imitated the crow. And they
Right.
wore the long leather jacket because
So
Brandon
cool.
Lee wore the long leather jacket. He had to take that off. We
Yeah.
couldn't do anything for 2 years that would anything assimilate what happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
I'm so mad because I would have made so much money with that character if they didn't do that thing.
Wow.
They
So,
ruined for a lot of wrestlers.
so I'm not going to
What?
read this full
Wow.
poem. I'm not going to read this full poem.
I was just,
Go ahead.
Dan, it was a pleasure meeting you, dude. You're awesome.
Oh,
You
great
too,
meeting
Roxy.
you.
Too.
Yeah.
Nice meeting
You made his
I always like
day.
to meet the guys in the background.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's amazing. This is Ruben, everybody. Iron Horse Films, Hamilton Radio. He's my producer.
Well, if you
Awesome.
guys, if I make a comeback, you guys come to the fight.
Yeah,
Honey.
we want Ruben in our corner. Okay, Ruben?
Listen.
I want Jerry in my corner.
Honey, I will be in your corner. Not only would we
All
do
right,
that,
It'll be me and Dan and Jerry.
we flew. We were asked to come to Yuma, Arizona last year to go to all the borders, and we went and covered the stories. We were there for four nights.
Yeah, 4 nights.
4 nights, 5 days. We were at all the borders, good, bad, and
Wow.
indifferent, and what we saw changed our lives. So we would definitely be in your corner,
That's right.
baby.
Exactly.
Absolutely, that
But
would be great.
I want to
And then
read.
we got to do our routine, okay?
Oh my God.
We got to do our routine.
Okay,
I'll
go.
see you at the
God.
steakhouse.
Oh my God.
After
He's-
I see you, you're lucky you're going to be able to chew mud.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Love you, Dan.
Say
Love you,
it's
Roxy.
Mud.
Mud.
That was amazing. So Dan, I'm
Love
not
you
going to
guys.
read. I'm not going to
I'm
read
really
this.
good at this.
I'm not going to read the full poem. I just want to read one little piece
was
of my
fun.
poem for you, okay? By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, your name, Dan the Bionic Man Magnus, will live forever, baby, forever and a day. So I want you to really know that your name will live forever. So you don't have to go in the silly ring anymore and get beat up or beat people up. You don't have to do that anymore. Okay?
But it's
You
fun.
you are not doing it anymore. You are on top, baby. You are on top, okay? You know how many legends said, I wanted to go out on top, and they did? So that's what you got to put in your head, man. I did it all. You didn't just do some. You did it all. Okay? What you did was ridiculous. All right? So listen, honest to God, you made my day. You absolutely made my producer's day. He's going to be talking about this for a very long time. He's going to be making these stupid voices now every time I come into the studio, okay?
Get him a mud pie.
Listen to me. You guys are incredible. We still have a few minutes. I'm going to give you the mic, so either one of you can say whatever you'd like to say. But Dan, what would you like to say in closing to everyone listening? Hold on, and all your fans out there, okay? What would you like to say?
Never give up.
I love
You
you.
got a goal, you go for it. No matter what happens, you don't let anybody discourage you. You're your own boss. You're your own creation.
You heard that from a guy who wore tights on a skating rink, who ended up going into wrestling. Listen, you heard it. You're hearing that from a legend here who didn't give up.
Jerry, I have pictures of him in his roller
I need
skates.
it. You didn't send me
I-
any of
I
those.
will-
I
I will
want them.
send to you.
I was going to ask you privately. I want the photos,
No,
girl.
it's not going to be privately. I'm doing it in front of him. I'm going to give him to
Hey,
you.
Thank you.
I'm not ashamed of it.
That
I
is
know.
so
I put it out.
cool. Dan,
When
that's
people
so
go,
cool.
You wore that outfit and skated?
That is
Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
champion.
I love
What
this.
he did tell me was he liked to do it because he got the ladies. So
Heck
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
baby. Heck yeah, baby.
Yeah, they love the roller skaters.
Okay.
They love the figure skaters. Except half the ice skaters didn't like them.
Listen, you guys are both incredibly cool. You guys
you.
both honored me today, and I'm not kidding you. I'm going to be talking about this for a very long time. Listen, I loved the stories. You're amazing, amazing together. Okay? Roxy, thank you
I'm scared of
again. I told you I'd be afraid of her too. Roxy, thank you again, but don't tell her I said that. Thank you again, sweetheart, for this incredible honor interviewing you first, and now you're sitting here with him. Thank you, thank you. And Dan, listen to me, man. Say these words. Promise me. Say, Jerry, I'm going out on top. Say it. Come on.
I will when I win the fight.
No, you already did.
Oh,
Say it.
see?
I'm going out on top, Jerry. Say it,
Going out on top.
baby.
Yeah.
And you did. So listen, Dan, I love you. One day I hope we can meet each other. You are
great.
incredible. You are amazing. Your personality is off the charts. You're funny. You're witty. You're crazy. You're a champion.
You got to see me when I'm in bodyguard mode. Even she goes, good God.
I can't even imagine, okay, but I can.
Yeah.
Dan, thank you for this incredible interview. Everybody, listen. Please, please, please share this video, okay? Let it go viral because these two people here are off the charts incredible. And share this video. Producer, take us out.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
It's really true, is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.